Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Bob. I'm an alcoholic. It's wonderful to be here today. I have done this work with the help of two Big Book Step Study sponsors, a God of never-ending love and forgiveness. I've made all my formal amends, including all financial restitution, practice all the steps to the best of my ability. But I'd like to start off by thanking Kathy for asking me to speak today. Always an honor to come down here and share. I was thinking the last time I shared here was almost 5 years ago. So she was speaking up our way and up in Leominster, asked me to share this month. She chose July 2nd, and I said, okay, pencil that in. And as she was doing that, I realized this is my anniversary today. So I'm celebrating. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Some people say, no, bring it on. No, but again, I feel that all the events of my life, excuse me, my voice is a little hoarse, all the events of my life have brought me where I am right now. Just had to happen that way. God's plan, God's hand guiding me to sitting right here, right now, exactly where I should be, doing exactly what I should be doing. And, this is a miraculous program. I was thinking this the other night at the Wednesday night meeting on Main Street, as we were reading We Agnostics, and then everyone's sharing on how they found God. I was looking around at the faces of my fellow travelers as I'm doing now, and just thought, what an amazing thing we have here. It's just so unique. But anyways, I came back to AA. I stopped drinking for 8 years on my own, and came back. I was crushed. I had some type of nervous breakdown, emotional breakdown, and I was crushed in spirit was the only way to do it. And I came back to the halls of AA, fortunate enough to, right in the beginning, ran into would be a very good friend of mine, my friend Greg at the old Fitchburg Friendship Group. And it was, I had been sneaking in and out of meetings, same story, last one in, first one out, lurking in the back, not speaking to anybody. But this man reached his hand out and gave me a meeting list. He circled some meetings he went to, and I said, that's great, someone to go to, hit up at a meeting, some companionship. But the very next night was the Tuesday night Big Book in Leominster, and I went there, and I had never heard the type of speaking that we do at these meetings, but I remember it stood out that I heard about God and I heard about fear, and I don't know if it was on the fear section that night, but that's what people were speaking about. I could relate to it. I just love these meetings, love how the honesty I heard over and over, and I actually liked that I couldn't speak, because at the time I was non-communicative. I couldn't put words and thoughts and sentences together. People scared me. On my fear list, the first item is my first fear is people. Second one's talking to people. So I just stay away. So it was good, But anyways, and then another meeting it circled was Thursday, just 2 days later, was the Bolton Big Book Step Study meeting. Same thing. It was great to be, and I enjoyed it. I decided, yes, I want to do this work. But I was going to meetings. I got sidetracked a little bit, doing a Joe and Charlie at a friend's house. Him and his wife put on there. They invited a few people over. I was doing that work simultaneously with going to the Big Book meetings, and things weren't going too well. Some time passed by. We were at a small meeting in Fitchburg, a Friday night Big Book discussion, read some, discuss it, not this format. And it was actually Laura sitting right there, gave me the nudge I needed. She said, if anybody's at the end of their ropes, grab one of these people here. And just by chance, a guy I had been eyeing to be a sponsor was there. I went over, I approached him. I remember the spot where it was, and I asked him, and he said it'd be an honor to work with me. And an immediate feeling of relief and hope. I still remember it, and we got right to work, right to the reading. And we had assignments, and I'd have to call him back. That was always one of the directions, that I call him, and keep it moving along. And I was willing to do that. We met up and we read, got through that section, and then we go on a course of vigorous action, and that's where we get to the writing. And I just wanted to also mention, I actually brought we did the third step prayer, and I actually brought a copy of the one we used, and the instructions the questions are, do you believe that you are an alcoholic? Do you believe that no power on earth can keep you sober and that God could and would? And then, when you complete this work, will you help others with this work? And that one there, I balked a little bit. I said, I was thinking, I never finish anything, I never complete anything, but I gave my honest answer, and I said, I hope so, I hope I can do that. And we started the writing, and we start with resentments, and I didn't know what a resentment was. I didn't have resentments. As important as it is the work of having a sponsor. He showed me his writing, and it was things like I hadn't, like someone picking on me in junior high school, or a coach that yelled at me. And I said, things as simple, not simple, but things like that. I had to be shown what they were, to go through my past and find these things and look at them. And I made a list of, over a couple hundred, and as time went on, I kept a piece of paper, always new ones coming up, new ones coming up. I had, especially a lot of them at that stage were in meetings, in AA meetings, and I brush them aside now, but I joke with a friend now that it's not a good meeting if I don't pick up 2 or 3 resentments. But I'm able to brush those aside now. But it's the number one offender. It's strong language, number one offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. It leads only to futility and unhappiness. We found that it is fatal. These are strong words, so I better do something about this. And we wrote it out just as it is, the 3 columns first, right across, who I'm resentful at, the cause, and it affects my, these things, sexual relations, self-esteem, security, the rest of those, and went through those. Then we get to the turnarounds, and he gave me a nice little sheet of like these suggestions, which I probably don't have a copy of now, but I brought some work with me and would like to actually share. I picked one out because it just surprised me. When I go back to my work, organization was never one of my strong points, but there was one that it kind of shocked me as I flipped through, that I had a resentment towards God. Too much bad for the cause. Too much bad stuff happening to me affects everything's bracketed. By this stage of my writing, everything's bracketed in fear. Self-esteem, pride, pocketbook, personal relations, ambition. And I come over to the turnarounds. We wrote straight across. And where I'm selfish, I want my things. I want things my way. I want special treatment. I want others to meet my needs. I want what others have. I'm concerned only with my needs. Where I'm dishonest, I'm not seeing or admitting where I am at fault. I blame others for my problems. I'm not facing facts or facing reality. Where I'm self-seeking, I'm demanding. I want to control other people and situations. I have self-pity and hold a resentment. I'm going to talk more about the self-seeking portion in a minute. And I'm afraid, always where the fear comes out. I'm fearful of being abandoned, of rejection, my inferiority and inadequacy, of authority figures, of failing, of feeling less than, of not getting what I want and losing what I have. And I saw another recurring theme throughout my writing, especially with the fear of other people's opinions, criticism, and judgment, over and over and over. My self-centered fear about how other people think about me. And I see that other people think what other people think. It's ridiculous. I'm not a mind reader, and people aren't thinking of only me. They have their own concerns, but it affected me my whole life. That's has really been, they say, is the crux of the problem, the self-centeredness and selfishness. And another section, I would hear a lot, what's the difference between selfishness and the self-seeking? And a young woman was speaking a couple of weeks ago. It really hit home that she said some of the manipulative behavior that she had, of actually, like, if she's being nice to somebody, the manipulation, and being kind to someone. And another one, I was reading about, anger being a self-seeking strategy, again, to manipulate others, to maneuver them to get what you want and control them, and so that helped, because it's behavior pattern and the self-seeking, what I do, it's the action I take to control, maybe control and dominate other people. But I wanted to talk about the difference. We were reading the other night, and again, something popped out at me. As many times as I read these, the big book, something jumped out when we read the Appendix 2 on spiritual experience, that it's a personality change sufficient to recover from alcoholism. And that summed it up, because I know the spiritual experience, it's a change in my, the psychic change, a change in my attitude and perception and how I handle things in life. But that, for myself, a personality change, I can't even believe, the extent of it. From seeing God as, doing bad things, why are bad things happening to me, to saying, to thanking God and saying, why me? Instead of why me, all this stuff happening, why me? Why has God been so good to me? It's just a miracle, the transformation I have felt from doing this process. And I spoke with my sponsor just this past week, and I said to him, for the first time, I've thanked him along the way for things he's done for me. But I said, Bob, his name's Bob also, I have never thanked you enough for your kindness, your understanding, the time you gave me, and most of all, the love of a total stranger that will do this work that I asked and did this. And of course, his response to that was, pass it on. And that's where I think the real, where we really get the benefits of the program, when we start working with other people and see them, and then they go through the process and start working with others. That's the payoff. That's when, the best comes out of it. And as far as my resentments, I had 3 big ones, one massive one. And I attack them. They give us the sick man's prayer, the writing itself, in page 552 in the back there, we prayed for the person, every day for 2 weeks. Pray. I add in for their health, happiness, and prosperity. Well, I did that for 5 years. Okay, and that's right. And my sponsor, in this situation, my sponsor said, someday you will be thanking that person. I told him the other night, it has left. 5 years. It took 5 years. It's gone. The resentment is gone. The other 2 I'd worked on. I did some writing, but the resentment is gone. I feel like a free man. I'm not to the point of thanking her yet, but that could come in the future. But I'm a free man. I've been released. It's gone. It's just an incredible feeling of. I used to get when we were doing the work, I would get little glimpses, little breakthroughs. I could feel it, I would open up, and it's just a complete release again from the anxiety, worry, fear, depression, and everything. And it was just a beautiful, but it wouldn't last. It'd come back, but I'd enjoy it while it was there. I knew it was the difference between, my self-will and God's will. And I keep saying to myself, I'm blocked. I know I'm blocked. And the miracle of it when it's to work and work and work. It takes a lot of work to get here. And I have people coming up to me. This isn't boasting in any ways. They say, well, what has happened to you? I'm a different person, no doubt. I am a different person. It's the great reality that was always deep down, the fundamental belief that God's in every person, every man, woman, and child. And as a result of doing this work, I have found, it's happened for me, and that's my experience. To tell people that if anyone starting this work, it's a long, strenuous road sometimes. As I used to say to my sponsor, why am I digging this stuff up? Why? If I'm supposed to live in the present. And keep writing. How many times I was going to get my other buddy, Larry, a shirt that said big letters, keep writing on it, because that was always the response. And so I did it. So I kept doing that. I trusted. I had to trust in God, trust in the process, trust in this work. And like I said, I've been doing this for about 8 years now. The payoff, it's on my debt to AA and doing this work, Big Book Step Study, immeasurable. I can never repay AA enough for what they've done for my life. Absolute miracle, what's occurred in my life. I just want to thank everybody for coming today. I'm going to finish up with that, and thank you all again for letting me.